What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Stories, The Path of Destinies. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while, and hopefully, I'm really hoping this is the episode in which we will win. I'm thinking this one's going to put us pretty close to the goalpost. We got to chase down Zenobia, and for whatever reason, I got to avoid killing her this time. This girl is like Eggle. I don't know if you guys ever played Banner Saga, but in the Banner Saga...
This was the nice part of town, but the Ravens had been through here. They like to take shiny things home to their nests.
She's kind of the Eggle of this game. If you ever played Banner Saga, Eggle was this guy with a shield that was really hard to keep alive. He could die at like 5 different points in the game if he made the wrong decision. Zenobia is very similar. She's tough to keep alive. I keep killing her accidentally, incidentally, thinking that she's the bad guy, even though our character's kind of dumb, to be honest. Like, sometimes the options, there's a few, like, oversights in this game that I think, with regards to the narrative, don't make a lot of sense. Like, for example, when we went back to kill Zenobia for betraying us, and we thought that she was the betrayer instead of it obviously being Lupino, there's little things that our character just should not fall for. He should know who betrayed him at this point in the game, and should ignore that data in order to go after other things. Like, that's irrelevant data at this point. Like, we know who betrayed us. I'm gonna go... You're gonna make me use the right... Sometimes it makes you use the right sword, sometimes it doesn't. Like, occasionally you can just shove the wrong colored sword into the right colored door as long as you have the sword.
Coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
I do think we've been here already. No, I'm on fire. I was planning on not being on fire today. It's actually on my schedule. If you go to my little work ledger, it says not be on fire, 10:30. 10:45 a.m. Scheduled not to be on fire. Splattercat, A. I don't know if I should take this thing. Oh, isn't there a purple door over there?
No urging him to capture Zenobia. Obviously it was a trap. But you never knew how Lupino thought. Sometimes his plans were so convoluted they did the exact opposite to what Lupino wanted. There must be some way to play on that, Renato thought.
Say goodnight, Gracie, said Renato, wondering who Gracie was.
Good night, John boy. I think we're good here. I'm just trying to race through the levels at this point because I want to finish the game off.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato.
If he's betrayed me... Last time we did this one...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
I do know better. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a fox. We're known for our cunning and the things that we can accomplish through the tenacity of our minds. Rabbits aren't known for that shit. They're known for having little shitty Pebble Poos, making a mess all over the house when you let them out of the cage, and then generally just being kind of derm. And I know rabbit people are going to get up in here and try and defend them. Every single time I make fun of some brand of pet, somebody comes in here and they're like, "No, they're the bestest. They have amazing personalities and also cuddles." I'm like, that's fine, but I'm not a rabbit person. I had a rabbit, well, my sister had a rabbit when we were kids, and it just kind of laid there. I don't know. Granted, it was a little bit obese, but it just kind of seemed like a non-pet. It was like a watermelon with fur. Just kind of like laid there all day. Occasionally it'd make like little like noises. And I remember what happens here.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while. Heard a familiar voice. Did you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as her ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy. Renato said, did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. You're lying. She was furious. You can't prove that. I can. And so, they set sail for the Nexus.
And this is the point where I think I screwed it up last time. Lapino wanted me to bring her back to the rebellion, whereas there was another option where I could take her to like the Far Speaker Toads or something like that. And I'm thinking that's the direction we want to take this. We just want to keep her as far away from Lapino as possible.
The scientists at the observatory.
I'm going to skip that because we've seen it already. Scientists at the observatory, they want to talk to her. That's all that you really need to know.
There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
That must be a reference to something that I don't know.
Had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
After they had died? Didn't it say dead puppies and kittens came to tell him what they had done to him? We got zombie kittens and zombie puppies. I don't know if I can give that a pass. Sometimes you gotta blap. Gotta put the bullet through the brain. Even if it's a zombie puppy, if it bites you, we're all gonna get infected. Precautions. They always work better than post-cautions. Which are not a thing, interestingly enough. So I've been growing a beard lately. And in the effort of growing a beard, I have lots of pets. And growing a beard when you have lots of pets, it's kind of like adding a broom to your face that picks up all of their debris. Like every day when I wake up, I have like several pounds of like cat fur and just like random stuff. Get out of here. There we go. The little buff bot guys are really good at staying out of the line of fire. I'm definitely not allowing any of that to happen. And then we're going to go after him. Whew, barely blocked that one. But yeah, my beard, I don't know if this happens to everybody else, but my beard serves as a weird catch-all for all of the random debris my cats leave around the house. So like I've woken up and I've had like a piece of litter in it. I've woken up and I've had like a giant dust bunny.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you want to join in? Oh, no, I'd destroy his books and... All right, I suppose I wouldn't. She stopped, troubled. He ran on.
We got stuff to do. This is no time for a break. It's not even a time for treasure. I knew there was treasure over there, but I want to hear the culmination of this story. I want to find out what happens when we unlock the final thingamadoobie. Unfortunately, I haven't been so good the last couple playthroughs at dodging death. Almost every single time I end up consumed, immolated, stabbed, speared, backstabbed, betrayed. It's really sort of unfortunate. It's difficult to navigate this rebellion.
Renato had been searching for a way to save the rebellion. Lapino wanted to capture and interrogate Zenobia. But if he could show her proof of her father's madness, maybe she would join the rebellion.
Can I afford to upgrade any of these? Nope, we got 20-something more until Firestorm's done, though. Firestorm is alright. I actually think the Ice Sword is the best one, though. Woohoo! Barely got that one up in time. Ow. I've been shooticated. I always forget about this part. Every time I get here, I'm like, whoa, what am I supposed to do? I don't remember this part. I need some Mountain Blade in my life. That's what I need. I need Mountain Blade in my life. If I had Mountain Blade in my life, then I could be happy. Ow, and less fireballs in my anus. Ow! Why can't you guys just let me win? Why is it so difficult for you all to just let me have this? I like the fireworks, though. I don't think the fire sword would actually affect that little elemental genie thing that I just tried to murder. I do want a hook shot like that. If I had a hook shot like that in my life, how could you be unhappy? It's like a zip line that's attached to you. And it's impossible to be unhappy on a zip line. I've never seen somebody not smiling on a zip line. I'm sure somebody's going to Google it now and then post like a, you know, an Imgur link or Imager link, but like, look, it's someone on a zip line looking really unhappy. Like, well, that person is not easily satisfied. Or moderately satisfied. I mean, a zip line to me seems like you're going way outside your way to be happy. Dead frogs.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. Take me to your council, she said, shaken. I have things to tell them. It was what Renato had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But the rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there?
It says we already did that, though. That would keep her away from Lapino. Lapino's back at the base, and if we take her to the base, Lapino, he betrays us and has us invaded by ravens in the middle of the council meeting. So we have to take her to the mountains.
By far, Speaker Toad.
No, we should take her to the base,
Insisted Lapino. No, I don't trust her. Nobody changes sides that fast, said Renato.
I better go to the base. Let them know you've got her.
Lapino said.
For some reason, Renato wasn't sure that was a good idea.
Just meet me at the far side of the mountains. There's a shuttle here I can take,
Always has to be your way, doesn't it?
said Lapino.
He's getting ready to stab us. He's getting that stabby tone in his voice. I think I've only met like one person in my entire life who had a stabby tone in their voice. Like, I was pretty sure that he was probably going to stab somebody. Or do something violent, horribly violent. I had a guy run up on me one time while I was in my...
I was still shaking as they got out. I didn't know, she said. The ravens kept it secret. At first they sacrificed prisoners, then villages near the frontier, and then an orphanage. Kittens and puppies. Sometimes he'd come back to the palace and it was like there were glowing things behind his eyes. But I was so busy. I'll clear a path for us, Renato told Zenobia, so the ravens don't see you.
Indeed. Anyways, I had a guy, apparently a guy's car, so there was a rash of break-ins on the street that I lived on for like a couple weeks. And I had a guy run up on me one time thinking I was breaking into his car. When I was getting into my own car, I was like, so wait, what car do you think is yours? Because you just ran up on me and be like, why are you getting inside that car? Oh, because I have the keys to it and it's my car. I realize you're kind of mad that somebody broke into your car and stole your shit. But you're kind of lumping in the innocent with the guilty right now, amigo. And that'll solve that problem right there. Is he going to explode again? Nah. But anyways, had a guy run up on me like that one time. It was like 2 in the morning and I was trying to get into my car.
There were stickers all over the platform for really hot lady foxes, with pictures and addresses and everything.
Sometimes you gotta meet some really hot lady foxes. Sometimes you gotta get that Vegas vibe. I mean, this area doesn't seem like it would be good for like Las Vegas excursions or whatever. Simply because, damn it, simply because I'm just gonna keep hitting you in the face until you fall down because you've upset me. And I don't care that he's buffing you. I'm gonna get some health back, although I don't really have enough energy to get this finished off. But we took a lot of damage right there. This would not be a good Vegas location. Vegas seems to be a place of mass intoxication, and these high platforms mixed with the fact that there's no safety bars on anything, I'm pretty sure there would be deaths. And deaths are not good for business. Deaths are actually really, really bad for business. How did he hit me through that other guy? That was a bug right there. I told it to do the counter, and he hit me through the other Raven. unfortunate. That's actually one of the few bugs I've seen so far. If the ravens are lined up on, let's say that like my character's right here.
Zenobia came up as he massaged his sore arm. Her eyes were wet. He's been saying strange things. He asked me to do experiments. And some were wrong. They are banished, right? Said Renato. Gone forever. I mean, he couldn't actually bring the old gods back, could he? She didn't answer him. That frightened him more than anything.
Yeah. That raven attacked me through the other raven, even though his club wasn't anywhere near me. A little bit of a frustration. I don't know why I'm taking so many hits right now. I do think they're getting more aggressive, though.
Hey, did you guys ever learn to swing dance?
Oh, well, too late.
I'm not sure why we're discussing swing dancing. Oh, there's a lot of references in this game. I'm starting to think that maybe I don't understand like half the references they're making. Like I gotta watch more movies or something. Oh, I could have gone that way. And it would have gone down to Purple Door. Everybody loves Purple Door. The purpliest of kingdoms. We're on our way to Purple Door to speak with the king. Why would you need to speak with the king? Concerning what? That's right, just buff each other. That works. It'll get me closer anyways. I don't deal well with heights. I learned that a few weeks ago. I'm not good with heights. I never realized I was afraid of heights before. But it's not like normal heights. Like I can do like a tightrope walk or whatever. I can do like a ropes course. That doesn't bother me. That's perfectly fine. I'm talking like extreme heights, like on top of like an 80-story building. Like that kind of heights, like the whole world just seems like plunged down towards a point, and I can feel my stomach just being like. And so it's not even really like I'm afraid of it. I just get really, really dizzy, actually. Oh man, it threw my crystal through the floor. That was the crystal I wanted too. All the other crystals were inferior. That crystal though, that crystal was a tribute to its community. Damn it. And now it's been flung off a cliff. This rebellion's been tumultuous. Unfortunately so.
I'll just have a dash, thought Renato.
Is there... How do I get to that? We've been past that ice door like twice now, and I guess you must go from the other side if you take like a different path. Either way, hopefully we don't get betrayed by Lapino again. I'm really hoping that for once things will turn out alright. Like we so rarely get a good resolution.
He should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secret, he was regretting his suspicion.
Well, I mean, what you should really be regretting is the fact that you can't seem to keep your information straight, man. We've already done this adventure.
They came up on an empty shack. He gestured her in. Where's the base? She asked, confused. I thought we could talk a bit first.
Oh, you think I'm playing you? She was furious. I'm betraying my father who picked me out of an alley, and you think I'm playing you?
She lashed out. Her claws sliced fire into his face. Energy boiled in her other paw. But before she could kill him, he slashed his sword into her heart. She staggered. I could have loved you. You son of a bitch. And then she died.
Renato stood there for hours, unable to move. Finally, a ship landed near him. Lapino had brought the Farfarer. On board the Farfarer, Lapino couldn't stop grinning.
I can't believe you actually killed her.
Why didn't I trust her? Renato said. All he could feel was emptiness.
You killed the Emperor's daughter.
You might want to run for it. If you care whether you live or die, that is. Since Renato didn't, he grabbed the wheel, and he sailed for the Imperial fleet.
This might be my last playthrough. I don't understand. Their key and lock system, I don't know. We'll find out if this unlocks the final piece of the puzzle or whatever at the end, but if you take her to the base, Lapino betrays you, and so the Ravens show up, and you end up losing her, and then you've got to go here, and then he kills her in a rage thinking she betrayed him, even though he knows Lapino betrayed him, which makes no sense. And then this time around, he apparently stabs her to death out of nowhere.
Trusted him.
I don't...
She'd opened her eyes to her father's evil. Done everything he had hoped for. He had taken her to a dirty shack. Was he so used to lying that he couldn't trust even the girl he had always loved?
Why wouldn't you have just told her at the shack that you needed to lay low because Lapino's a traitor? Like, it's just, it makes no sense to me. Like, the main character does doofus-ass things.
Where the road would take you, thought Renato.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is more than likely my last playthrough. I don't know. I just not understanding why the character does some of the things that he does. Like, I think a lot of the decisions are made just to force you to play the game over again, rather than actually coming to, like, a satisfying narrative conclusion.
He could see the rebels reeling back as he plunged into the ranks of the Ravens. He'd had to kill the girl he loved, but he'd also blown the biggest opportunity they could have had, to turn the Emperor's daughter against him. Renato could only laugh miserably. He was taking crazy chances now, swinging wildly. He expected the Ravens to take him at any moment, but they were running in fear. No one wants to fight a man who doesn't care if he lives. No one wants to fight a hero. Renato had learned so much about... Ooh, what was it again?
I don't know. The last couple that we've gotten have been really unsatisfying, where it's like you gotta replay the entire storyline just to get like one extra bar of information. And I think that the character does a very, very poor job of applying the information that he's gained the entire time. And so sometimes it feels like you basically wasted the last 30 minutes playing through the game again because the character came to an idiotic conclusion based on the things that happened. And it's just like, I don't know. If this ends up unlocking the
sign said.
If this unlocks the blue section of the key, then I'll be... Oh, right, it's still unsatisfying, but I can live with it. If it sends us back through again to go after the storyline, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to go again, just because... We've tried, I think, every option with Zenobia so far, aside from doing Lapino's stupid little dress-up disguise plan thing, and I doubt that that's going to resolve itself any differently. I suppose it might. I mean... Slash my way through a couple more of these little pricks real fast. Not the worst combo I've ever conjured, but it works. So my guess here is that Lapino's gonna stab me again. But maybe I'm just becoming disenfranchised and frustrated.
He was exhausted. Could barely think. He wanted to stop thinking. The rebels were already finished, and he was the last. The Ravens were coming for him personally now, in waves. It didn't matter. He was slick with his own blood, but it didn't matter. In the distance, he could see her, embraced by a halo of light, holding her hand out to him. Had she forgiven him? Would she take him to the halls of the Valiant? Then He felt steel in his belly, and his chest, and his back. And he lay down, and he couldn't see her anymore. He should go back to some of the choices he'd faced before. Maybe there were new paths that had opened up, like those doors he was opening up all over the map that took him to new treasures and around his enemies. But he'd learned another true thing. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
So now what happens? If we have 4 out of 4 truths unlocked, does that mean like the next time we go through, it'll just kind of like machine everything into place where it needs to be? Huh. Alright, well, my name is Splattercat. This game is called Stories. I don't know if I'm going to go through another time. I don't know if I can do the same content out like over and over and over again. If the maps are randomly generated or there's something a little bit different about it each time, I think I'd be okay. But we're literally doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, just hoping that the little narrative portions in between will be slightly different. And so anyways, I'll give it some thought. I may finish it off, or I may not. I'm not really too keen on it. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.